This is the beginning of a 3-day solo trip. I decided to make this trip a solo trip because, quite frankly, I've had it with people, and a little bit of time alone in the bush is exactly what I need. I'm back at a place I found with Daniel a while ago. This is a huge rock overhang that I've got here. It's about 4 o'clock. After 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I've got about 2 hours, judging by my fist, about 2 hours worth of sun, and I've got to make this a living space. I'm not camping with a tent. I've got my basic minimum equipment, which I will show later, but I've got a lot of work to do right now to get this place ready for the night. My sleeping space is going to be here in this flat area of ground. As you see, I've got a large rock overhang which extends way up and out. Last night we did get pounded with rain. I have no idea if it's going to rain tonight, but it looks like the ground under here is fairly dry, and it should be okay. It will also shield my fire. As we progress, hopefully I'll be able to improve this living space a little bit more, but tonight it looks like I'll be sleeping on the ground. The area I'm going to be sleeping in is right in here. I've got a place here where the soil is kind of damp. I'm afraid I've got some rain runoff right here, but back in here the soil is bone dry, so I'm going to site my first night's bed right here. It's not ideal. There's a few things that might be wrong with it, but basically using the back of the machete I can chop up the ground here and level it out. Now try not to use the front of the blade, I'm trying not to use the actual edge of the blade at all to chop this ground. The back works fine for that. The main thing I'm looking for is to get as many lumps out of it as I can and make it as comfortable as possible to sleep for the night, and use any excess dirt to fill in any holes and level it out. If my head is uphill, blood runs downhill, so I won't get a headache during the night. But basically I've got to make this spot as habitable as I can, and my fire will be set out here. My fire will be set out here using the rock as a reflector, and we might even be able to improve upon that later on. Just to give a little perspective, this is a gigantic termite mound. This is the rock overhang, and you can see I picked out the only really level spot here to make a bed, which also gives me a place out in front, about where that rock and my pack are, to make a fire, which will give me a nice reflector. This should be a nice warm dry place to spend the night, but right now I need grass and lots of it, or else I'll be sleeping in the dirt. Okay, unfortunately this is an area that burned off last year. There isn't a whole lot of grass here, but there are a lot of weeds, and I don't have a whole lot of time right now to get grass to search around. I need a fire and I need a bed. I've got a spot, so right now I'm going to take those weeds with me. I really just want the fluffy tops of this stuff. Grass is much better, but I'll take what I can get at this time of the evening. A little bit of time I have to make a decent bed. A bed of weeds will suit me fine. My wife, on the other hand, right now is in a hotel about 15 kilometers away from here, in the town of Ouro Preto. I hope she is having a great time. The isolation of this is beginning to work on me already. I am feeling great. My campsite is directly behind me in that forest. You'd never guess there was a giant rock overhang in there unless you actually went in to take a look, like I did last time I was out here with my son. One of the good things I do have because of the burn area is all around me are all kind of dead Candea trees, and Candea is an excellent fuel. This stuff burns really bright. It doesn't burn very long, it doesn't leave very many coals, but it really does light up the campsite very well. And I've got a lot of firewood out here where it will be relatively lighter at night. I can come out here and still get firewood with my flashlight, or even in the moonlight with whatever moon we have tonight. It is almost sundown, just about time to knock off filming because I don't have equipment to film at night. But the bed is made. All I've got to do now is make my fire out front. Maybe a little later I'll be able to film by firelight and show you the actual camp as it's set up for the first night.